Chris Lochamire, Hudson, Indiana. We've got roughly 1,800 acres, about 1,000 acres of corn, 800 acres of beans. Been here all our life. We're going over the corn pretty much 3 times this year. We'll be spraying a burn down. We're 100% no-till. We'll be spraying a burn down, coming back over it after it's 6-8 inches tall, maybe 10. And then we'll be going back over again, side dressing. I use this rig to dribble 28 with too. And then the beans will probably go through twice. I had a spray coupe previously, and I like the mechanical drive in that. I wanted to stay away from hydraulic motors, and I like the power. The torque that it delivers right straight to the ground. I like the mechanical drive. And that's one of the reasons that we went with the Apache, other than the rest of the features of the machine. They did have a ride and drive thing that we did go to, and that pretty much took it over the edge. I like to ride. I could see what it would do, and that was what I was after. Spray coupe small. As far as the ground speed, we spray a little bit faster with this, mainly because with the spray coupe, the gear ratio wasn't quite right to go much faster. Both machines, most of the time we spray 12 to 14 mile an hour. With this, if I have to, I can go faster. So that's the main comparison. I mean, the spray coupe just didn't have the capacity that I needed anymore. I run just about 5 miles either direction from the farm. I guess we'll get into the road speed. That's one of the big pluses of the machine. It gets down the road. It will move. Depending on what I'm spraying, if I'm spraying beans, I can get 100 acres to a tank load. We use 10 gallons the acre. A 1,000-gallon tank gets me 100 acres. So for the most part, I can get quite a bit done with one trip. I've got an old elevator that we use to fill up. It's got a 5-inch well, and when I'm spraying with water, why we fill fast there. It's really faster for me to come back home and fill up and go back. 25 minutes. The old sprayer was probably a good hour and a half. Yeah, it definitely trimmed my spraying time in half. We also, I say we used a spray coupe, but we also had a pull-type sprayer that had a 45-foot boom on it that we sprayed all the corn with. And sometimes we would run both of them. I can cover, as far as spraying time, a lot of days I'll plant in the morning, and if it calms down in the evening, I can still get 300 acres sprayed after dinner and before dark. The tractor at 7 mile an hour or 8 mile an hour is all the faster you want to go. That's enough. It'll rattle you right out of the cage. This, I'll spray 12, 14 mile an hour all the time, and if it's going to get bad or I need to cover more ground, I can go faster. Jerry introduced me to some guys that were interested from Michigan in putting in a dealership, and a farmer that was interested. And when I took the guy for a ride, they'd been spraying with a tractor sprayer, and he was just riding with me, and I said, "How fast do you think we're going?" And he says, "Oh, this is about where I spray, about 8 mile an hour." Well, we were running 14 at the time, and he didn't even realize it. And I guess they did go ahead and do that. They were real happy. The pull type, if we got 200 acres done a day, that was a full day. The coupe, if you've got somebody nursing it, you can get 250, 300 acres a day. But as far as the half day, about 100, 150 would be a good day. That's with somebody nursing it. That's one thing with this. We've done away with the nurse tank practically at all. I'm getting a better quality job with this just for the fact that I've got a wider boom. This is a 90 foot where the spray coupe was a 51 foot. The pull type sprayer, it was kind of the same way. That was a 45 foot boom, and it just wasn't efficient. And I know I don't have near the overlap or the skips. You try not to anyway, but you always end up with a few somewhere. Visibility is excellent. You set up higher. There's no real obstructions in this that you can't see. With the spray coupe, you didn't set high enough. You just didn't have the visibility. The tractor's kind of the same way. You were always counting rows and trying to make sure that you were in the right spot. Where with this, I guess you go back to the ride again. The ride's smoother, which improves everything else. The turns are better. It's just a better ride. I don't know how to explain it. It's a nice smooth turn, and I end up in the right spot. And part of that's due to the wider boom, though, too. And fuel costs are excellent. That was one thing that kind of concerned me after running the spray coupe. The spray coupe was excellent on fuel. But acre for acre, I can actually spray as much with this on the same amount of fuel, maybe even a little bit more. The spray coupe is very fuel efficient, but of course I'm not going to say this uses less fuel, because it doesn't. But as far as the amount of acres sprayed, it'll match it. Just the speed is a lot. I mean, the amount of ground that I can cover in a day is a lot more with this, and that's worth a few extra dollars for fuel, I guess, if I have to spend them. But I've never really compared them, but they're close. It's engineered well. There's not a lot of, as far as the boom, there's not a lot of flopping around or what I want to say, loose joints. I guess kind of the boom rides real nice. It stays put. Don't have a lot of the spray coupe. Once in a while the booms would break away and that kind of stuff, and they don't come back as well as what these do. It's just engineered real well. Haven't done anything to it other than change the oil. I did have an LCD that went out the first year I had it. I will give Wyatt some compliment here. I called down and told him that I needed one, and of course I heard the same thing you always hear, well, we've never had that happen before. And I called them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They didn't have one, but by 10:30 the next morning they were here with it to fix it. And I told them that it wasn't anything that was going to shut me down or that I had to stop for. I could still spray without it. It wasn't that big of a deal, but they did have me a new one here the next morning. So they really didn't have much time to get it. I don't know where it came from. At that point, I don't care. I just want to go. So I was real happy about that. That's the only maintenance problem that we've had. I'll answer any questions that anybody has. I've been real happy with it. If I didn't have this machine, I'd definitely have to have another person to nurse me or to run another machine. My quality of spraying is better now. Part of that's due to the fact that I'm getting good coverage, but part of it's due to the fact I can get it done when it needs to be done. I still have time at the end of the day to get some spraying done. I've only taken one day and really just sprayed. It was an excellent day. Usually, for the most part, I'll just find a couple hours that are decent at the end of the day or early in the morning and go spray. And I can still cover 150, 200 acres without any problem. So where with the spray coupe and the pull type sprayer, you took a day and that's what you did was sprayed just to try and keep up, where I don't have to worry about keeping up anymore. I'd recommend an Apache.